Hey everybody, Charlotte here, lead editor for Yeti Legs and Basecamp. We just wanted to let you know that we pride ourselves in using only the work and skills of real humans here on our podcast. No component of our show or social media utilizes AI, and that's how we want it to stay. We hope you enjoy the episode and the dedication that each of our team members put into it.
Well, hello, Tramily.
Hello, Tram. Bam. Happy New Year.
Well, happy 2026.
Happy 2026.
We hope.
We hope. Yes, we hope.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions that we didn't discuss in the last episode? Anything you've thought about since the new year?
Not really. We've been traveling so much and been in transit so much. Honestly, I've just been trying to keep my hands on the steering wheel and not wreck.
Yes.
So no, I haven't done any deep, insightful reflection yet.
Any on the top of your head that come to mind? Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing.
Not to get fat.
Not to get your dad bod.
I don't want to get a dad bod because I'm 38 and the dad bod's got to be coming, right? So I just want to keep the dad bod at bay. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dad bod at bay.
Dad bod at bay. There's my superficial surface level New Year's goal. What about you? What about you?
Keep my body as healthy as possible. And I think just prepare the way for a great year.
But are you high though? Prepare the way.
Open the gates.
That's funny. That's funny.
For a good year for our family.
She's not even drinking an alcoholic beer. She's drinking a Coors Edge over here.
I'm over here trying to be clean.
Drink of the choice.
Look at that. It's not even drink of the choice. Mine's a Coors Edge.
She's edging.
Beer.
She's edging.
I'm edging. That's what we're gonna start calling it.
That's what the young kids call it these days.
Dude, it's so good. It is. It tastes just like a beer to me. Timmer.
That's funny.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I am drinking enough alcohol for both of us.
You are. There you go.
So I'm drinking the Dragon's Milk Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout. It's by the New Holland Brewing Co. out of Michigan. And this sucker is packing a whopping 11% alcohol.
It's pretty much like a glass of wine, and it's like 2 glasses of wine.
It's like a 12-ounce glass of rosé.
But it doesn't taste anything like rosé.
No, it tastes like delicious milk chocolate, and I love it. And it's got a slight burn on the way down. It's perfect.
A slight burn.
And it's perfect.
I do need to clarify, I'm not cleaning because it's the new year. I'm not cleaning the body because it's a new year and drinking an NA beer. This is just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not, it's not all about the new year and trying the new me. And I don't really care about that kind of stuff.
Loba is snoring.
So Loba is snoring. I can feel it under my foot.
I paused it because I thought I heard her snoring. But that is exactly what is happening.
Yes, Loba is snoring. We took her on a 3-mile hike, and honestly, she probably turned it into a 5 to 6. She was running everywhere because there was deer
all over the place,
all over this prairie, and we could see her mostly running everywhere. So I didn't feel weird about it.
For context, we are driving back from Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. We're now in Kansas. And we went to a state park in Kansas around a reservoir, and it's covered in steppe, open field prairie, and I think they were cedars actually, and cedars all over the place.
And a lot of deer.
And
Loba was in her element.
Yeah, chasing everything, weaving in and out of the switchbacks because it was a mountain bike trail that we hiked.
Yeah.
And it's super convoluted and curvy.
She was so happy.
She's sleeping right underneath the table that we were recording on. We were recording inside of our camper van. Hi. What have we called the van again?
Sassafras.
Sassafrasy. That's it.
Sassafrassy.
Sassafrasis.
Yes, our van, honestly, it's a perfect place to record because we have this like carpet.
Padding all over the walls.
Padding walls.
Yeah.
So it soaks up sound really well.
It does.
It's a great recording studio.
And Sassafras has a big ass.
She does.
She does, because this is a long van.
It's a long Ram Pro Master. It's great. But yeah, it's our little cozy, livable van.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
Great. And I feel like, even though we've been going through so much transition, it's a good time to let folks know who we are. So we're going to do our little intro for who we are, but then I think we need to tell everyone a bit about how we became the adventurous, daring, like outdoorsy couple that we are,
explorers,
and kind of talk about the origin story of how we were engaged, how this all started. But first, who are we? Who are you?
I am Basecamp. Also, Marie is my name in the cotton world. I work in commercial film as a producer and an assistant director, simultaneously or separate, as a freelancer. I am also an avid thru hiker, ultra runner. Love to just go out and be in the woods, to be honest. I grew up in the woods. And if I get stuck in the city or in a town for too long, I start to get cabin fever and I got to get outside. So literally I have to get outside, once a day. I gotta hike every day.
That's fair.
Habit.
What type of habitat or ecosystem do you most identify with?
Alpine. I love the alpine. I love the alpine. It's just like it's just open range. Like you can just see as far as the eye. And I love that you can see it. I hate feeling like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's just in life. I don't like that feeling. I like to know what's going on.
That's fair.
I don't like to feel in the dark, and I don't like to feel in the trees.
Like on the East Coast.
Exactly. Tell everyone who you are. Who are you?
My name is Yeti Legs, aka Wes. I am an ecologist / biologist. Currently in search of a job because I work seasonally right now. So if anybody is looking to hire somebody like me,
a biologist or ecologist,
preferably in Colorado, drop a line. But otherwise, yeah, I'm an ultra runner / thru hiker as well. We've done a lot of thru hikes together. The both of us, PCT, TMB, Colorado Trail, Arizona Trail, and
Colorado Trail. We love the Colorado Trail.
We do.
We hike it and run it a lot, actually.
It's a good trail.
It's a great trail.
And yeah, I think I identify most with, let's go with like a boreal forest.
What does that mean?
So we're talking, of course, evergreens. We're talking like spruce and fir and.
So Colorado forest.
Colorado forest. That's what we are. We're
or those
boreal
big
forest.
trees like Washington forest. Like
or those. Those are pretty sweet
the
too.
old trees.
Yeah.
Nice.
Old growth forest I love.
You do.
So that's me.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I like to be enraptured in life.
You like to get lost in life, don't you?
Sure. Because I don't like knowing everything.
We've learned this about our marriage.
Yeah, we have. Speaking of marriage, today we're talking about our engagement story. And I think it's a really relevant story to talk about, as we're entering this new year. I'm not going to say new season of the podcast because we don't really do seasons. But as we're entering this new year and our new mindset of kind of being a little bit more inclusive, less snooty as, quote unquote experienced thru hikers. But I mean, we're just backpackers like a lot of other people are. We just do it for long periods.
We just love the outdoors.
We just love the outdoors. We want to kind of talk about our engagement story and how damn dangerous it was and how stupid we were.
And what not to do and what we did well and what we didn't do well.
Yeah. And how to best exercise caution and use that little 20 to 30 pound thing on top of your neck called your brain, your head. Use it because it'll save you a lot of grief.
I think actually I want to give people a backstory. If you want to know more about our story, it's really rare. We've had a lot of people ask us like, wow, did both of you know you wanted to thru hike? Were both of you already adventurers or hikers, or did you start this together? And I think it's really important to know that I was looking for someone that did hike already. And I had gone on many dates with guys who didn't want to even go on a 2-mile hike with me outside. Like, it's just so bizarre how Like that was just not, their priority in life. And so I truly said, okay, bye. Like, I want someone that this is a priority for them. And so on our first date, we actually, Wesley had said, you can pick our date. And so I said, let's go on a hike just to see if he was full of shit or not. Because he said he was an avid hiker. And, we met on eHarmony. And so we talk a lot about hiking and talked a lot about the outdoors. So I was like, well, let's put money where mouth is and let's see if he was, jerking my chain or not. And he says, well, you can pick the hike. And so I picked this rather difficult 7.5 mile hike up to a waterfall.
Bring it on, baby.
And it was a significant climb up in North Georgia. And I was ultra running at the time as well. So I was like, this is easy. So I thought 7.5 miles, that's not too bad. And if he's not full of shit, this shouldn't be too bad for him either. And, match made in heaven. We hiked this 7.5 miles. And I was like, holy shit, he's my person. And I knew we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. Like, I just saw it. And I only saw it because I saw us hold together and I saw us doing adventures together. I saw us sitting on porches together. Like, I saw the gamut of like us.
She told me I was going to look like Robert Redford when I age.
It's true. He will. And I just saw him like in his 70s sitting on a porch with a scotch painting a bird or something like
birding.
And I saw this when we were hiking our first date.
That's cute. And
I knew. So I felt no pressure on like where our relationship was going. I just knew, oh, this is somebody, like this is the guy I've been waiting for. So we start dating. And we have a very fast relationship. It was a very, it went really fast. Like,
we've been married for 5 years and we've been together for like 5.5 years.
Yeah. And so to give context to this, we did a ton of backpacking, ultra running together when we were dating.
Yeah. And when we say backpacking, we're talking like an overnight.
Like an overnight.
Nothing crazy.
Right. Nothing nuts.
Yeah. But we enjoyed sleeping out in the woods and we enjoyed like pushing our bodies to the test and to their limits to see, what we were capable of. Hence the ultra running.
Yes. And I had done a few 14ers in Colorado previously and, had done a ton of climbing in North Carolina, and I'd done some snow stuff when I was in Colorado, but not anything too crazy. And Wesley had planned a trip for us in July.
I did. To give you the insider scoop, I'm planning an engagement trip where I'm going to propose to Marie. And I had originally thought, hey, how great and romantic would it be if we flew into Banff for doing a hike and I proposed to her out on a peak in Banff, Canada. Well, unfortunately, we're still in the late throes of COVID. The Canadian borders were closed to travel for U.S. residents. And so that was a no-go. So I thought, well, we also have this ultra race that we've signed up for and we've been training for. How about I propose to her at the end of the ultra race? Well, I'm glad I chose not to do that because we didn't finish the ultra race. We ended up bonking, 10 or 15 miles from the finish? 10 or 15, somewhere in there. It was
10, and that's why I kick myself that we didn't finish now, thinking back, because we could have, but also those people told us, they lied to us.
We were lied to by aid station workers.
Yes, it's a whole thing, but...
So I'm glad I didn't choose that as the moment to propose. So as my third option, I thought, why don't we go to Washington? Because Washington is really cool. It's a lot like Colorado. But for some reason, I didn't choose Colorado. I wanted to go as far away from the East Coast where we were currently living at that time as possible. So I chose Washington State. And I thought, well, what could we do in Washington that would be really epic and really romantic? So I started doing some Google searching. This is before the age of AI. And I do want to preface that we do not use AI in this podcast for anything. We were even looking up some information before we started recording. And I made sure to not use the stupid AI search results. I actually need to take those off of my phone, because I don't want to see them. But anyways, so I ended up choosing Mount Rainier as a really epic romantic thing for us to do to get engaged. And so I wanted to get onto the top of Mount Rainier, the very tippy top summit, pull out the engagement ring that I had purchased with my best friend, Dorothy. We went and picked it out together for Marie. And I wanted to propose to Marie on top of Mount Rainier. Well, that sounds a lot easier than it actually was, because you got to think about what Mount Rainier is.
And if you don't know,
Mount Rainier is the third tallest peak in the lower 48. It reaches 14,411 feet in elevation from sea level. That's not how much you climb. You do climb a lot, but not 14,000 feet.
you do climb, though, 12,000, because you're almost at sea level in Seattle.
You don't climb 12,000. It's a lot.
Maybe
less
it's 10,000 then. Because you do climb a lot. Because remember, first base camp, we climbed like 4,000, and then we climbed another 4,000. Like you climb a lot. It's not, now I want to know because we should have looked it up. But it's not like a Colorado mountain. You start at almost sea level in Seattle.
It is a mountaineering mountain, but it's also like 2 hours worth of a drive away from Seattle. So
yes, but I think it like starts at 2,000 feet. It's not a ton.
Okay, so Basecamp just looked it up. On the route that we took of the main 3 routes, which I'll discuss in a minute, how many feet do we gain in our climb?
You gain from the start of the trailhead to the tippy top of Mount Rainier 10,000 feet. 10,000
feet. And this is on one of 3 different route options that you can take to climb up to the summit of Mount Rainier. This is on the Winthrop Glacier route. So this is kind of the intermediate option that you can take. So it is not considered to be for beginners. It is not the most extreme technical route that you can take. The most technical route that you could take is called the Kautz Glacier route. Only about 10% of climbers take this route. About 15% of climbers take the route that we decided to take, the Winthrop route. And about 75% of climbers take the Mirror route, which is the more direct route. And to give you a little bit of an idea why we originally wanted to take the Mirror route, not only because it's the more direct route, but it's also the most publicized route. We looked up different climbing options. And when we say climbing, we originally just wanted to basically hike up to the top of Mount Rainier. That's what we were wanting to do.
And we thought, because he mentions it's a 14,000 foot mountain, and I was thinking Colorado mountain. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, we can do that. And Wesley was like, I don't know. It seems a little risky. And I was like, nah, we can do it. But I hadn't looked up the mountain at all. And I was in the middle of a work show where I was like working a lot when this all started going down.
So we watched a video of these ultra runners who ran to the top of Mount Rainier using the Mirror route, or that direct route.
And we were like, oh, we can do that.
Like, well, we can do that. So we started to look and do a little bit more research and discover these other possible options, but they seemed a bit more heavy on the mountaineering side. We're talking crampons, ice axe, possibly roping up, things like that.
Ice screws, yeah.
Ice screws. So we wanted to avoid these Winthrop and the Kautz Glacier routes because they were more technical. But when we started to look at it, you have to book campsites and get these reservations far in advance. And everything for the Mirror route was completely booked out within a reasonable time frame from when we were wanting to go to Washington and do this climb. So we decided to do the Winthrop route, which is kind of the intermediate route, because I was able to get permits for some of the campsites that you have to camp at along this route.
Yeah.
Now, before we continue, just know that we've chosen the intermediate route, not the hardest, but not the easiest. I just want to give you some quick statistics on fatalities at Mount Rainier National Park. Since 1897, when records begin for visitation and death or fatality at the park, there have been recorded 425 deaths. This is pulled from the National Park Traveler website, and this all boils down to about 8.55 deaths per 10 million visitors. You can do with that what you will. It's considered the second deadliest park in the winter months based on the rugged and harsh terrain, especially on Mount Rainier. So this is not a walk in the park. It's not climbing the easiest 14er in Colorado. It's not doing a cute little backpacking trip in your local state park. This is a much bigger deal than a lot of people might think when they talk about going to climb Mount Rainier. In retrospect, we should have definitely hired a guide to take us up to the top of Mount Rainier, since we were only able to use the Winthrop or more difficult route. We opted to not go the guided route because of money. And in retrospect, how much is your life really worth? So we should have gotten the actual paid, experienced guide.
And what we found out is that most people who are training for Mount Everest do the Amundsen Winthrop route and then the Kotz Glacier route.
Yeah.
Like this is where they train, is these routes to do Everest and to do the other, big 14 peaks is what they call them, around the world. And so we didn't know that.
You mean the 14?
The 14 peaks that like people gun for all around the world that are like above, 26,000 feet?
Above 8,000 meters.
8,000 meters.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know this going in. I think leading up to it, what were you thinking leading up to it?
I guess I kind of wanted to talk about what we did before we actually got into it.
Yeah, getting all the gear and stuff.
Yeah. So as we're looking up this route that we have to take, we've got our permits booked for the Amundsen Winthrop campsites that we need to take to get to the top of Mount Rainier. We're looking at the actual route itself. And again, most of the information that you find on Rainier is about the Muir route. So when we started digging into the Amundsen Winthrop Glacier, which was supposedly a benign glacier, meaning it...
Well, part of it was. Or quote unquote, they said part of it was.
So they said. It is a glacier and part of it is active. So whenever you start looking into how to navigate this climb up the Amundsen Winthrop Glacier, you find out that it is an actual mountaineering route. Like people are out here with ice axes, crampons, a harness, rope, ice screws, ice anchors, like the whole shebang. And so we started looking at the equipment that it suggested people take with them when they're trying to summit Rainier on this route. And we started going to REIs, originally in Georgia, but we're looking for mountain climbing, ice climbing, mountaineering equipment. And of course, there's none of that in Georgia. So we're only able to find very limited equipment there. I mean, I think we found like a climbing harness, a black diamond harness, and a few other pieces like a helmet, stuff that you would rock climb with.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until we had actually already booked our plane, booked our reservations for our campsites to climb Rainier, flew to Washington and went to Seattle REIs before we were able to actually find the equipment that we needed for this Amundsen Winthrop climb.
But can I interject here?
Yeah.
It's when we were in North Carolina. We were in North Carolina or South Carolina. It was one of the REIs there.
Yeah.
That we were getting some equipment, and one of the REI guys starts asking us what we're doing, and we tell him. And next thing we know, this guy comes out from the back. He's an older gentleman. Ex-military. I'd say late 50s, probably, somewhere in that world. He had done Rainier, or hadn't he been a part of search? He knew Rainier is all
he did.
I remember in the grid, and he was very scared for us.
I don't blame him.
And we didn't know what we were getting into. We'd never done anything remotely with glaciers involved. Barely any snow. I mean, we barely touched snow in our lives. We grew up in the deep South, both of us. I lived in Colorado for a season, but barely touched that much snow. And this guy was truly terrified for us. And he was like, don't do it. And he was like, you don't want to become a number that search and rescue has to find up there. He's like, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't need to be doing this. That just like infuriated me. I was like, how dare he tell us we can't do this? I'm going to prove him wrong.
Yeah. We were young and stubborn back then. We were 32. Yeah. We're 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was pretty frantic and pleading with us not to go and climb it without a guide.
And we still were going to do it.
We stubbornly said we were going to do it. I think we were there getting headlamps, like nice Petzl headlamps at that point.
I think we bought our ice axes there too.
We may have. They had those at least.
They had those.
Yeah.
But then we flew to Seattle, got the rest of our stuff.
Yeah, and when I say the rest, I mean we dropped several grand.
Like $5,000-$6,000 later.
Yeah, we got ice screws. The crampons.
Didn't we buy our 4-season tent too?
We got a Nemo Chigori 4-season tent there, and we got some other jackets and pieces of equipment. But one of the things that we did not get was a higher end pair of mountaineering boots,
which we should have.
We ended up just going with the Oboz hiking boots that we had, expecting the Black Diamond professional crampons to work with the Oboz normal hikers. And so, I mean, we're trying to explain how dumb we were in the preparation and the research in this process before actually going to this mountain to try and hike/climb this actual route.
Yeah. And we YouTubed how to crevasse rescue train.
I think we need to explain what a crevasse is first. So
a crevasse is, you probably will explain this better than me, but in the terms that I'm going to say it is these splits in the glacier that can drop 100, 500 feet down. And sometimes those crevasses, you may not see them. Like they can open up and be bigger, and then they might kind of tear off and look and go into a smaller crack. But as you're climbing, your foot might hit part of the crack and you can fall in, or snow might cover it and you don't see it. So you want to make sure that you know how to crevasse rescue. And so you rope up in those areas where there are crevasses to make sure one person rescues from the other person falling. And so they always say don't go by yourself, typically, because of that very specific reason for crevasses. And so we looked all this up before we went. Like literally, I think it was within the days before we left. We look up YouTube videos about crevasses.
Like a crevasse, that looks like a big ass crack in the glacier. That looks dangerous.
That looks scary.
So glaciers are kind of constantly in movement. You know, they're not all solid ice. There's liquid underneath. There's water underneath. And glaciers shift. And as they shift, they create these crevasses, or these giant cracks in the glacier body itself. And like she said, they can range in depth, but nobody wants to fall into a crack in a giant slab of ice. The fall alone could kill you. It could incapacitate you. It could harm you. Or it could also kill you.
I'll never forget this because I had to ingrain in my brain, what would I do if Wesley fell in? This is what I was, for days before we did it, I'm just ingraining the YouTube video into my head. And we had to carry these anchors. They're called snow anchors.
Snow anchors,
and they're, how big were they? They were about 5.
Ours were 3 feet long.
3 feet.
Yeah.
And you carry 2.
We carried 2 of them apiece.
And so the idea is if Wesley falls into a crevasse, I instantly will get pulled, and I have to self-arrest. If we're roped up. I have to self-arrest as literally within a millisecond, crampon in to the ice. And then from there, hopefully he's hanging. And as he's doing that, he needs to ice screw into the inside of the crevasse and literally clamp a carabiner from his harness to the ice screw so that he hangs. And so while he's hanging and I am self-arrested, I need to now pull out my anchors and put them in front of me and make sure they're secure. And then I need to tie rope onto this while my crampons are still in the ground. I need to make sure I can tie a solid rope, and then I have to carabiner my harness to it to make sure the weight is properly distributed. And then I somehow magically take the rope and I carabiner those anchors, make sure they're fastened in strong, and I let him dangle down there as I try to help him up.
Is it 2 anchors?
It's 2 anchors. They're supposed to be perfect, diagonal, because they said that's what helps distribute the weight better.
I'm going to preface, we are not mountaineers.
So I can't say that this is just what I remember. So anybody that is a mountaineer may listen to this and go, that could be totally wrong.
May be completely incorrect.
Exactly.
Anyways, it's called an ice arrest. Self-arrest. Well, there's self-arresting.
And ice arrest.
And then there's some other type of arresting where you are saving the individual or individuals that you're tied to that fell into the crevasses.
I mean, you're still self-arresting because you're getting dragged in. You literally have to turn over and you have to put your axe in and your crampons, dig in your crampons at the same time so you stop all the weight from happening.
Do you think we need to explain what this equipment is? Because we're just talking about it.
An ice axe? Well, everybody can look it up.
Everybody can look this up, I guess.
Yeah, ice screws and ice axes. You can look it up, but
you can look all
these are all pieces of equipment that you absolutely need out there when you are mountaineering.
Yeah. So we're looking up all this stuff.
And we've never been to a training.
We've never been
class.
training. I mean, we're YouTube teaching ourselves as best we can while we're working full-time jobs still.
And
which is not a good idea.
No. And I just remember we had rented a car and we're driving up to the trailhead. And I am like hyperventilating. And I'm saying to Wesley, I'm like, Wesley, I have a bad feeling about this. And I'm really scared that if you fall into a crevasse, I won't be able to save you.
And I'm going to add that we don't even know how to properly tie the 10 pounds of rope we just purchased.
Like, we don't know how to tie rope correctly.
We have all the stuff with us, but we don't know how to use it.
We don't know how to tie knots correctly. Yeah.
And we say all this to be horrible examples to show how you need to know what you're doing before you go outside. Especially in situations like this. Because we were dumb and it's lucky we're still alive.
Yes. It's very
very lucky.
But you were like, you know what? Let's do it. And if we, as we're doing this,
if we feel unsafe,
we can turn around.
Yes.
But I know at this point you're wanting to propose. So you're hoping we can still do it.
Yeah.
So I love this brand. Found them a few years ago, stumbled into their store in Leadville, Colorado, and that is Galena Mountain Projects.
Did you literally trip into the store?
Almost, probably. Well, you wanted to go into the store.
Galena Mountain Projects.
Yes, you wanted to go in the store. And then when we were in there, I was like, oh my gosh, this sun shirt is phenomenal.
They're bamboo, kind of like hybrids. I think it's bamboo and polyester. But they're super sweet. They don't hold in the pit stank quite as much as a pure polyester would. And so that is originally what took us into Galena. And ever since then, we've broadened our horizons and tried a bunch of their different products. And freaking awesome, yo. I was wearing earlier one of their tech hoodies, which is probably my favorite hoodie that I think I've ever worn.
It's incredible. And they also have just really good products that you can also wear in your day-to-day life. You can wear them out skiing, hiking, snowboarding, walking, going to the brewery, going to the store. It's going on a date. Everything about Galena, they have really just cute products for females, sexy products for men, and they have really cool hats. They're just a great overall company. They're a cottage company. And so we love supporting them and getting their name and word out. So if you want to check out any of their stuff, especially the Saltwash Sun hoodie, if you're looking for a hoodie at the beginning of the year, check out GalenaMountainProjects.com. And we do have a discount code.
The discount code is WB. That's Whiskey Bravo. And then 20 for 20% off of your purchase at Galena. And just know that if you purchase from Galena, you will be supporting local artists because they do source a lot of their artwork on their designs from local artists. So try and produce as much of their product as they can in Colorado, so not overseas. And all around, just a great company. If there's anywhere to leave a comment whenever you make a purchase, just let them know that Yeti Legs and Basecamp sent you.
So I have her engagement ring in my backpack in a blue Sea to Summit dry bag, shoved inside a pair of mountaineering socks. So the ring is there. I'm going to leave it right there for now because that comes into play a little bit later. But we get to the parking lot. It takes us probably a good 30, 45 minutes to get everything out of the car, get our backpacks packed. They're super heavy because they're full of all this food.
It's 50 pounds.
This climbing equipment that we have just purchased and still don't really know how to use.
Easily 50 pounds for me, 65 for you, I'd guess, with the rope.
With the rope. The day itself is pretty easy. We're hiking in kind of boreal forest, so coniferous forest.
It is beautiful.
Here in Washington, it's super beautiful. There's no snow yet. We're just hiking through the woods, doing a little climb here and there. There's a few creeks. And then we get to this campsite. I can't remember the name of the campsite, but
we'll call it Camp 1.
We'll call it Camp 1. It's still in the trees. You can see the glacier and you can see basically the entirety of Mount Rainier off in the distance. But right now you're still in the trees and you have to still get out of the tree line, do the approach up to the glacier before you ever start worrying about crampons. So right now we're just walking on soil. It's nice and cozy.
It was lovely.
We pitch our 4-season tent, our Nemo Chigori that night. We enjoy a really nice dehydrated dinner, probably some fancy peak refuels, who knows.
A mouse took your toothbrush.
A chipmunk.
Oh, chipmunk,
it was a freaking chipmunk. I tried to brush my teeth that night and I set my toothbrush down on a stump after I was done. And I started looking for my toothbrush and it was gone. It's just gone. And then I found it 50 feet away from our tent after I started looking for it. And I came to the conclusion that a chipmunk had taken it because they were circling our tent.
There was a lot of chipmunks. They were really wanting food.
Yeah. But overall, it was a really lovely night. A great first evening/night for what was hopefully going to be an epic, beautiful engagement trip.
Yeah.
I had no doubt in my mind that she was going to say yes, but I did have a doubt in my mind for where she would say yes to. So the next day, we pack up everything. I make sure I have my toothbrush, that it hasn't been completely stolen by the ravenous, evil leftist chipmunks. And we start the approach. Within the first 10 minutes, we're probably out of tree line. And the approach follows a sandy, rocky ridge along a glacial creek. And you can tell it's glacial because there's a lot of silt, but it's also kind of like an aquamarine blue.
It's beautiful.
So it's really beautiful. And it's in the middle of this barren landscape. So everything is basically gray and rocky except for this beautiful creek and the snow that we are quickly approaching. So we get to the snow, and I'll let you tell what happened as we got to the actual snow line, where we decided it was time to sit down and take off all of our normal hiking clothes and put on the equipment that we had purchased to mountaineer.
Yes, we see this glacier. The only way I can describe it is it's this field of snow and ice looking thing, and it is just a massive wall.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Think of like a cinnamon bun that's been dipped in frosting. The bottom without the frosting is the approach,
just
what we had
pure
just
white.
done. And then the top with the frosting is the snow-capped glacier.
Yes. And
like
it's
on the mountain.
And we had heard it was a benign glacier. So we're like, great, we don't have to deal with crevasses yet, is what we heard. But we saw some crevasses. That's what's funny. Maybe the guy lied to us to not freak us out. I don't know. But no one was roping up at that point. No one was roping up. So it didn't seem to be a treacherous area. It was just a very intense climb.
Who was there when we sat down to put our stuff on?
Hang on, I'm getting to it.
Okay. Because you said the guy, and no one's going to know what the guy is.
I know. I'm going to explain it.
Who's the guy?
Hang on. When we get there,
I want to know who
there's
the guy
4 people.
Marie, who's the guy?
I'm not telling yet because I'm going to tell it after, because he came in after that.
You're right.
So we get to this spot. We're like, okay, this is when we're gonna gear up, is what we said, and this is where we're gonna put our crampons on. This is where we put on we had a really nice snow jacket, and typically when you're mountaineering like that, you get so hot because it's the summer, but it's still cold up there.
You were doing this end of July.
Yes, and so I had on literally like a base layer, and then I had on it was like a very hard snow rain jacket shell. I had a hard rain shell.
A hard snow
rain shell.
You had a hard shell for mountaineering.
A hard shell for mountaineering. Yes. And then my snow pants. And we get there, we run into these 4 people. They're of Indian descent, and they are finishing up putting their crampons on, and we get to talking to them and come to find out they're camping at Camp Sherman, which is where we are going to be camping that night.
Camp Sherman is like the intermediate campsite.
Yes.
You camp there.
It's Camp 2.
Kind of midways up the mountain.
No, I'd say it's 2/3 up the mountain, because the last mile to 2 is the last part.
Okay, kind of 2/3 up the mountain.
Yeah.
But it's the intermediate campsite. The one that we camped at was like quote unquote Camp 1. Camp Sherman is Camp 2. And then
the summit.
And then there's the summit.
Yeah. So Camp Sherman is where you go to then summit the mountain.
Yes.
And also something else we forgot to mention is that it's all about timing when you're mountaineering. And this is what we had researched, is that you want to get to Camp 2 or Camp Sherman by a good time, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that you can get some sleep, because the goal is that you wake up at midnight and you start climbing, because you want to climb when the snow is like the firmest.
As consolidated as possible.
As consolidated as possible for 2 reasons, so that you don't sink in, and also the crevasses. So it's a good time that hopefully you wouldn't actually step and hit a crack that would, you'd potentially fall in. So
as it gets colder, the snow solidifies, and you're able to hopefully walk on top of it. using your crampons instead of post-holing into it.
Yes. So,
which is why you want to do it so late.
Yeah. So midnight to 1 is when people typically start Rainier, the climb to the summit, and they hope to get to the summit by 6 a.m. Now, to give you any perspective, you only have to do like 2 miles from Camp Sherman to get to the summit. So that's how long it's taking you. It's pretty much from midnight to 6 a.m. to go 2 miles.
Yeah.
So you want to get there by 6 a.m. is the goal.
Slow down.
So then you can get down.
All the way down.
While the sun's still coming up.
Yeah.
And then it's not too hot yet. So that's kind of the hope. That's the rhythm you try to do with Mount Rainier specifically. And so we get there, in a good amount of time. And we see this group of 4, have a great conversation with them. And then they go on their way. And we're still putting on all our gear. And as we're putting on our gear, and I just remember I was just staring at this glacier. Like, this is so intimidating. I've never done anything like this.
It looks like you're staring up at a giant snowshoot.
Literally.
Is what it looks like.
And you're going to have to climb up the snowshoot.
Yeah.
And we see this guy coming down, and he's just all by himself. And he's just walking down like it's nothing.
Guy's name's John.
And come to find out, John is a badass.
Oh my gosh.
John has summited all of these mountains by himself.
What is this thing called? One hike a week?
Yeah, he does something called One Hike a Week in Washington. And he does all the hard cascades in the winter. He's done Rainier a few times. Like the Emons Winthrop route for him, that was like something he'd done it a few times. It was not a big deal for him.
This is just a normal day for him.
Just a normal day. And he was really reassuring for us. He was like, because we were like, dude, we don't know what we're doing. We're super newbies and we're really scared.
And just so you know, a solo mountaineer is what you call a badass.
They are another level.
And a solo mountaineer that continues to summit is an exceptional badass because they're not falling and dying. They know where their limits are. They know when they should turn around.
Yeah.
And so the fact that John had summited, I don't even remember how many he told us
there's so many
he had done before, but it was a large number. So the guy was experienced. He knew what he was doing. So I trust the advice that he gave us.
Yes. And he told us, he goes, listen, this glacier you're about to do is a benign glacier. Just climb it. You'll be fine. And then he explained to us there's 2 different routes we could go. He said you can veer off left and follow that boot pack. It'll take you to a crevasse field. They're all baby crevasses, but you should be fine. Just follow the boot pack. And then he said, or if you don't feel comfortable doing the crevasses, then go up Steamboat Prow, which follow the boot pack to the right, and you will find a trail that will take you up and over to Camp Sherman.
Yep.
So
Steamboat Prow is a very large, sheer, rocky outcropping. There's no snow on it. No snow on it.
No snow on it, but
it's
sheer.
But it's on top. It's on top of the first fault summit. The saddle is what we can call it.
Full-on rock, sheer rock.
Yes. So we decided to avoid the crevasse field.
Because we could see it once we got up there. And it was truly intimidating.
Yeah. So we decided to hang right,
take the Steamboat
climb up the Emons Winthrop, and go over Steamboat Prow.
Yes.
Is what we decided.
And I just remember we were climbing up pretty much the snowshoot, we'll call it. I actually was crushing it in the climb. And poor Wesley, he was a little bit slower because he had so much weight that he was having to pull. So I remember stopping at this rock outcropping on the glacier and just sitting there and soaking up the view. It was gorgeous, like such a beautiful spot. And you came and sat down beside me once you got there. We had a little snack and water, and we continue on. We
continue on, but not without pausing, because rewind, we had those stupid oboes hiking boots on.
Oh, that's right.
And we had professional grade crampons on.
And those two do not mix.
And they don't mix well. And so our crampons kept slipping off of the hiking boots.
Yeah.
Because the oboes themselves have a lot of like bulges because of the padding and the footbed and all that.
Yeah.
So it just didn't fit well. So we had to keep stopping. We even dug out a few snow buckets for ourselves. So basically seats in the glacier to sit down and reattach our crampons to our boots.
Because they just kept sliding. They kept sliding.
And I had this problem a lot worse than you did.
You did. For some reason, they fit my shoe better. I don't know if it's because the crampons were smaller.
Probably.
That was probably it. But yeah, I wasn't struggling as much. So that also was probably contributing to me just going up faster. But also, this is where I think us as a couple, this trip really solidified communication for us.
We've been together at this point about
3-4 months.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
We're not engaged yet, but we are a couple. And I feel like we're a power couple.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like we encourage each other. We encourage other people. And I think the biggest thing was in that situation is being able to stop and wait for Wesley, or asking him and saying, hey, do you want me to wait for you? And him being like, no, you can keep going. Or him being like, yeah, actually, do you want to wait with me when I'm putting my crampons back on? Like, this is where I think it's really important as a couple, where you check in with each other all the time when you're doing very intense activities together.
Yeah.
You just need to be checking in. Yeah. And going, hey, how are you doing? Like, I can see you're struggling. Do you need a break? Or do you want me to stay with you? It's just checking in with each other constantly.
Thanks for not being a dick.
I did. That was a big test, right?
Appreciate you.
I mean, it really showed our true colors that trip. I feel like more than anything. Like,
it did.
What are we really like around high stress environment?
Yeah.
So we get up to the top of the chute and we see the baby crevasses on the left. And it was like, not feeling that.
I'm glad we took the route we did.
And so we decided to take the steamboat prow route. And there was like a trail. So we were able to take off our crampons as well because there's no snow in this section. We felt a lot safer doing that section. But there was like some bouldering that we had to do to get up steamboat.
Honestly, there was.
It was intense bouldering. And imagine
it took us about 3 hours just to get up the snowshoe.
Yeah, just the snowshoe. Because you guys, this is like
we hadn't even done a mile.
No.
It took us like 3 hours.
This grade was so intense.
Yeah, it's about a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, it's a 45-degree angle at least. I mean, because when you go down it, you can feel the inertia of gravity trying to pull you down when you do the snowshoe.
Yeah.
So imagine trying to climb it.
Did you fall at any point?
Going up?
Mm-hmm.
No, I never fell going up.
Neither did I.
No. Yeah. It was easy to climb it, I feel like. It just took a long time because we had so much weight on our backs.
And if you slip, so when we're climbing up this thing, this was my setup. I had my spikes on my crampons, and I had my ice axe in my left hand. And not like an ice climbing axe, like an actual long ice axe. So I could self-arrest with it. You needed an
ice axe to climb it. Like you needed it.
And then I had a trekking pole in my right hand.
Yeah, same.
That was your setup?
Yeah, that was my setup too.
Okay. So if you did fall or trip, you kind of just fall forward and you just stick.
Yeah.
You just plop your ice axe.
It's very different. But I will say too, they always say, depending on if you're right-handed, use your left hand for the ice axe to dig in. Because if you fall, then you grab it with your right hand and you sling down. And so they typically say to use whichever arm is weaker to...
hold it with your weaker, not with your dominant.
Yeah. So that's what we did. But I remember with Steamboat Prow, it was like we were bouldering up this thing and it was slippery rock.
Like slippery rock, scree. And there's no signage. So we're pulling at I think we were using All Trails at the time.
Yeah. And so we're pulling up a map and there's no trail.
Yeah. I think this thing is on All Trails. So don't just pick any All Trails route that you can find, please.
Yeah. And we may have gotten off trail. I don't know. I think when you're in Steamboat Prow, you pretty much every man for themselves. Like you just gotta find a way to get up and over.
You do. But Steamboat Prow itself is not that long. It's just a rocky outcropping with a sheer drop to the left as you're going towards Camp Sherman.
Yeah.
And there's one little sign up there. It's like beaten down and shoved into the rocks.
Yeah. It was intense.
And it says Steamboat Prow or Trail this way, and it points like straight. And straight doesn't look like anything, but you keep going and it starts to descend. And as you're descending, you can see what looked to be, it's like you see these two little like buildings, and one of them is a hut for a ranger. And the other one is 2 restrooms, compostable toilets, and there's a helipad up there.
Yep, a helipad.
which should tell you
something.
Rainier is no joke.
It told us something.
It did. So you can see it, but it takes you a while to get across Steamboat Prow once you can see it, to get down the prow, and then actually to Camp Sherman.
And it's because getting down,
you're getting stuck.
You're like, it's not a trail, and it's not a grade. at all to be able to go down. Like you're literally having to boulder rock climb down it.
You were butt sliding quite
I
a
had
bit.
to butt slide. And then my backpack got caught on some sort of outcropping.
And you panicked.
And I panicked because I started dangling. So I had no control.
Mm-hmm.
And my backpack got caught and my legs gave out from under me and they were literally dangling on the rock.
Yeah.
Because we were on a rock face. Like we weren't, like I couldn't grab anything because my backpack had just kind of taken control of that moment. And so I'm like panicking and asking Wesley to, I'm like, pull me back up. I need to find a different way to get down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember you pulled me back up.
I got you.
You did. And he was very calm in the whole situation.
I'm usually pretty calm in,
You are.
I guess, intense situations. I don't know why.
It's good.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Even if I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. But I just remember that happening. But I remember we slowly got down.
We did. We slowly got down. You can hear people setting up / have already set up a campsite area.
And
They're
it's
talking.
the 4 that we ran into.
It's the 4 Eastern Indians. And they're there. Like, good. We're all there. There are people here. We're not out here by ourselves. We feel a little bit more comforted by that fact.
Yes. But we also, I think, at this point, I'm realizing we haven't even dealt with crevasses and I feel in over my head.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, even up to this point.
Yeah. Like we should have had gear for rock climbing.
Steamboat.
For steamboat prow.
For steamboat, yeah. And honestly, we should know how to have been tied into each other too.
Right.
Which we did not.
And we didn't. Yeah.
We hadn't even used the rope at this point.
Or harness. Our harness
Or
is
harness.
brand spanking new, y'all. We've never even used it. We don't even know if... Oh, no. That's right. We put our harnesses on. We just are wearing them. But we haven't even used the rope at all. So at this point, I just look at Wesley and I'm like... I remember seeing... You can see like how close the top is from Camp Sherman. You can see that like it's all just right there.
Yeah.
But you can tell there's crevasses like inside of where you have to go. And I'm like realizing we'll have to do this at night. We can't see anything and we don't even know how to get up it. I'm already feeling well in over my head.
As we're descending to Camp Sherman from Steamboat Prow, we're having this conversation. And before we ever even get down to Camp Sherman, we've decided that we're going to turn back the next day.
Yeah, that Camp Sherman is going to be where we call it. And truly it was one of those where it's like...
Well, you can see giant fissures.
Literally.
In the remainder of the climb.
You can see the huge crevasses.
Yeah. And we didn't have a guide. We have no prior experience in mountaineering. So, of course, we were intimidated by this. Even an experienced climber probably gets intimidated by this stuff.
For sure. And so we had decided, you know what, we're going to turn around. We're going to spend the night here. And then we'll turn around the next day. And I feel like I felt elated, like I could breathe again. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Giveaway
alert. You know, it's cold outside.
Baby, it's cold outside.
And you know what I love?
Being warm.
I love being warm.
Yes, you do. You know what else I love, and I know you love too? Not having a back-breaking load of weight on your back.
Yes, that is true.
Yes, it is. And you know how you get that?
You know what helps that?
Leve Outdoors.
Because they have a very, very lightweight, I call them mid-layers, that if it's super cold outside, will mid-layer it with my puffy. But honestly, in the summer, you can also make it your actual jacket. It's not a jacket, but you can. And Cameron, who actually runs the company and his family, does these epic alpha hoodies. He has a 60, a 90, and a 120. And so all of them are for different types of terrain, weather, and temperatures.
And he also does beanies. He does a hiking sun shirt now. And he's got a super ultra hyper lightweight jacket, which you should go and check out. And of course, he's got 5-panel hats, which are like probably not what you would take through hiking, but they're super stylish to walk around the street with.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have a discount code for them. And so if you go to Leve Outdoors website,
Google Leve Outdoors.
Yeah.
AI will direct you there, right?
Yes. But when you purchase anything there, you get a discount code of
10% if you plug in Yeti Walks into Basecamp, all one word, at checkout. Now, that does get you 10% off of your purchase. And just know that Cameron does have a lot of promotions internally as well. So the promos don't stack. So definitely use the one that's going to get you the most discount, but you always have this one to fall back on if you need it.
And if you are able to, if there's any comment section or anywhere inside of your shipping order, if you can just let him know that Yeti Legs and Basecamp sent you, we would be greatly appreciative.
And to that, we are giving away a little care package from Cameron. Thank you, Cameron, for sponsoring this podcast and our episode, and the winner of our next care package. So what we do here on the podcast is we ask people to tell us something via email. And if they actually are the first one to reach out and tell us, they get a free care package from the brand that we're talking about. So we're talking about Leve Outdoors. We want to hear what your most interesting animal or wildlife encounter is when on a trail. So shoot us an email with that little story. It can be as short or as long as you want it to be. If you're the first person to email us that story, you'll be a care package winner, and we will coordinate with you via email, get you the right sizes and everything for that care package.
But we get there and we see the four people from Indian descent, and they're like, "Oh, good, you made it." We got concerned that you might have gotten lost or you turned around. And because apparently the baby crevasse field is quicker to get to Camp Sherman. Mm-hmm. Steamboat Prow's the longer way.
Yeah.
And he goes, and one of the guys goes, "Well, just stomp around your campsite," because there's no campsite, you guys. There's not a campsite, designated campsites like you would see in a campground.
You're on a glacier.
It's a glacier.
And so you just make your campsite.
You just make it. You just look for a spot that looks kind of, padded out, that maybe someone already created, and you pitch. You pitch. But he goes, "Just make sure you stomp around," because one of our guys fell into a crevasse when he was trying to pitch.
Yeah.
We were like, cool.
Oh, okay. So this isn't benign.
Awesome. Well, no, it wasn't that it was ever benign. It was just that one first part.
It was the first part that we climbed.
Just the chute. Yeah.
So we've reached the transition period.
Yes, we have. And we pitch literally right beside a crevasse. Like, I was scared that if I peed at night, I might fall in.
Oh my gosh. So there was like a pre-padded out area we decided to pitch in. We just made it a little bit larger for our tent.
It was really cozy and beautiful.
It was super cozy and beautiful. And we just hammered our tent stakes into the ice and snow. The other group, the group of four, they had already established their campsite, and they were planning to get up, I think around, was it
midnight?
Was it midnight?
They said midnight.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. They were planning to get up around midnight to start their climb up to the summit. And it was at that point we told them, "Hey, we're inexperienced.
We're going to turn around.
We're going to turn around tomorrow." And they're like, "Yeah, that's probably a good call."
Yeah.
And we felt comfortable with that.
Yeah. And it was honestly a great night. We saw the sunset, and you guys, it was so stunning. Like, seeing all these beautiful mountains in the Cascades, and you're above all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Was just beautiful. I mean, it was gorgeous.
I don't remember it being such a great night, though.
Well, no, but before that, I realized
it was a great late evening.
It was a great late sunset. It was a great sunset.
Yeah.
Because we cooked dinner, we watched the sunset. We had hot chocolate, I think.
We did. And we have pit toilets right there.
We have pit toilets. Like, it was great.
So I want to paint the picture for everyone. So we're camped on a glacier, and just above us is the pit toilets. There's two of them. And then there's a ranger station to the right of that. And then there's a helipad. And then there is a drop off past those buildings to the baby glacier
crevasses.
Field.
Yes.
Yeah, to the baby crevasse fields. Mm-hmm. And on both sides, you're surrounded by rock. It is pure stone. And then each glacier just has a sharp descent. Even the glacier that we are pitched on has a sharp drop off. It's probably a 30% grade. And if you go down a quarter of a mile, you're going off a ledge.
You're slipping and dying.
So even though we are established at camp for the night, it's still a little concerning and eerie where we are.
Yes.
Surrounded by mountains on glaciers where we could possibly still die.
And the other thing, and I remember, I don't know if it's that someone said this to us or if we heard it in a YouTube video, but someone talked about what no one ever talks about when you do stuff like this is all the avalanches and rock slides you hear throughout the night.
Yeah.
Because that is happening. Which is such a true statement.
It is.
And it was terrifying. You were literally hearing avalanche, like baby avalanches and rock slides all around you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, if Steamboat Prow, if anything on this gives way in a rock slide, we're done.
We had a beautiful sunset after our dinner. We climb into our 4-season tent, our cozy sleeping bags, and all of our warm clothing. And life is great.
Life is great. And the other thing that happened is I lost my phone. So I realized that when I stopped at this cute little outcropping on the benign glacier that we were climbing way back at the beginning, I had left my phone there. It's the only place I could have left it, is what I said. Or it must have fallen out of my bag. Like I couldn't figure out where it was. So I say to Wesley, I'm like, Wesley, we have service up here. We had cell service, and my mom wanted to stay updated about our safety. And so I was like, hey, do you mind if I text my mom on your phone?
And I'm like, yeah, just a second. So we had just crawled into the tent for the night, and I'm getting on my phone, about to hand it to Marie, but I had been talking to Marie's mom and sisters about proposing and all that jazz. So I quickly went into my phone and deleted all of those text messages so Marie couldn't see them.
And I didn't know did I know you had her number, I guess, at that point? Maybe I didn't know that. So he had to delete her information
from my phone, so it didn't register.
Yeah. Which I thought was really funny. And then also halfway through, didn't I? Because I was like, can I take something from you when we were climbing? And you said, yes, can you take this? And he gave me this dry bag, and I started carrying my engagement ring.
So yeah, you were carrying the dry bag, the blue dry bag that had your engagement ring stuffed in the mountaineering socks.
Yes, which I had no idea.
You did it about halfway up the climb for the day, so not the entire day.
No, but halfway. So we get into our tent, we cozy up for the night, and I'm like, oh man, it's going to be a great sleep, right? Like we're exhausted, our bodies hurt. Everything just feels like one of those days where you've worked really hard physically and you're like, man, I can't wait to sleep. And
the wind starts punching the tent and picking up the front vestibule. And it's literally blowing so hard and in bursts that it's punching us in the head.
And then you'll hear to your like over to the right. And then you hear another like you just start hearing rock slides and baby avalanches. Yeah. And then the wind. And then rock slide baby. It was like a chorus of terrifying nightmares.
Yeah, it does. It's not the white noise that you want to go to sleep with.
It is not white noise at all. No. And so we weren't sleeping. At some point, I think I started laughing because it was so ridiculous. I'm like, if we survive the night, this is insanity.
I would say we probably got a good 2 hours of sleep that night. At least me. I don't know about you.
I don't even know if I got any sleep, to be honest.
And I thought that I had guyed out the 4-season tent pretty well. We had legit tent stakes. I'd hammered them into the snow and the ice. But when we woke up the next morning, some of them had been ripped out. And actually the tent fabric on the front vestibule was ripped. Yeah. Like there was a 3 to 4 inch rip just in the tent fabric. So either the wind was just that intense or something had happened. But yeah, I was shocked that it had gotten that windy that night.
It was insane.
We were probably experiencing 50 plus mile an hour gusts.
Easily.
And
I remember we woke up we were awake at like midnight or 1, and we see the headlamps of the 4 that we had talked to that were also camping at Camp Sherman.
Them leave.
We see them leave. We see them they're in a line and they're roped up and they're heading up. And then probably about 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm. We see the headlamps again.
We see the headlamps come back.
Which is too fast for them to have made a summit and gotten back.
Yeah, so we figured something happened. And so, the sun finally comes up the next morning. I'm telling Wesley, like, the Steamboat Prow route is terrifying. Like,
it was.
You guys, it's true rock climbing. And a lot of rock climbers do Steamboat Prow is what we found out later.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of rock climbers do that.
Huh.
Yeah, because it was rock climbing. I mean, it was terrifying. So I say to Wesley, like, I don't feel safe going back through Steamboat Prow. So I think we should do the baby crevasses. And as you look at it, because you can see it from Camp Sherman, and it didn't look that bad once I was looking at it. And you can see a very, very specific path that people take. And I think as long as you follow that path, you'll be okay. So I'm like, let's just do the baby crevasse field and do it and just get it over with.
And you can see it from the toilets they have built up there.
Yes, you can see it from there. So I just remember I had made my oatmeal for the morning and you went to the bathroom.
And in the bathroom, I'm trying to put on this GoPro on a head harness so that I could record me proposing to Marie. And I get her to help me put it on and adjust it. And I'm like, I just want to record the trip back downhill. So I got this thing, and can you help me straighten it out?
And I truly,
she does.
Yeah. And I'm not thinking at all about a proposal at this point. Cause I'm like, surely he's not going to propose in this treacherous place.
That's probably the last thing on your mind.
That's terrifying. Oh, the only thing on my mind is how in the world do we get down?
You were producing. You were over there producing.
I was producing. And so in the video, the GoPro video, all you can see is me talking to him as we're trying to get down to our campsite. And I'm getting a plan in my head of how we are going to safely get through the baby crevasse field. This is all I'm doing.
It's true.
As I'm eating my oatmeal. And you're just going,
yeah, okay. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to propose. How do I do this? I want to look cool whenever I do it. Hope she says yes. Don't want to die after she says yes or no. And so as we're walking back to our campsite, you have your pot, you're eating oatmeal.
I have my hoodie on over my head because it's freezing.
You had your hoodie on. It's a beautiful vista in front of us with the backdrop behind our tent. I'm like, hey, I think we should come back and do this. I know we're quitting now. And that's okay because we're inexperienced. But I think we should come back and do this again. But when we come back, I think we should do it as husband and wife.
And then he gets down on one knee. But he said all of this as I was like not facing him.
She was not facing me. And so I get down on one knee and she turns around and she's like, are you doing this right now?
I was like, really? You're doing this right now?
But
as we're about to die.
She said it more like
with oatmeal in my mouth. I was like,
full of oatmeal.
He proposed when I had a mouthful of oatmeal.
And I was like, yeah. And then I asked her to marry me.
And then I said yes.
Of course she did.
Yeah. And it was awesome. The ring looks like a glacier.
It's glacial blue, and that was beautiful. Intentional. That was intentional.
Yes, because that's what I asked for. And
yeah,
it's pretty cool because he proposed to me on a glacier.
It's the same color.
Yeah.
How many people can say they were proposed to on a glacier?
With a glacier color ring.
With a glacier colored ring. Not many.
Very few.
Sure, it's a small percentage.
Thank you. You did really good. At least we're alive to tell the tale.
We're alive to tell the tale. So we get out of here.
Because getting down
was worse than the climb up.
You know what no one tells you? Getting down is harder than
much harder.
Climbing.
much harder.
When you're mountaineering, especially. Anything in snow, getting down is harder.
Packing up was not that big of a deal.
We were, in this la la land, super excited. You just proposed. I'm getting married.
Yeah. Took a few pictures, of course.
Oh, and then we ran into the 4 people that came down and we asked them, if they summited, and they said no. They said actually one of their members fell into a crevasse.
And they had to pull him out.
And they had to self-arrest.
And he had bummed up his knee.
Yeah.
So they decided to come back down.
He was pretty shaken, I think, from that.
I think so. Do you blame him? I don't.
And they had a very experienced guide too. So,
yeah.
And we weren't. And that just affirmed to me, well, there we go.
Yep, because we were not going to get up that sucker by ourselves.
The chances of us falling into a crevasse if we had continued would have been very high.
Yes, I'm glad we didn't die.
Yeah, but anyway.
But the getting down. So
we pack up and we get to the spot where the baby crevasses are.
Just beyond the pit toilets.
We decide, instead of using our long ass rope,
we're going to use a janky little piece of accessory rope that we had purchased.
A baby rope.
Yeah, we're talking like an 1/8 of an inch in diameter.
Y'all, it was so funny. And so we roped up with a cute little baby rope.
That's not even roping up. And we're going down this baby crevasse field.
And it was honestly very intimidating. But we followed the boot pack.
There was one.
And then there was one.
That You can't walk across it.
No.
You have to jump over
You
it.
have to jump, and you can look down and see.
It goes down at least 100 plus feet.
How far down it was and Wesley got really scared.
I did. I sure did.
You did. And didn't we have to like throw our packs over first, because to try to jump with the pack on would have been hard.
We did do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you threw your pack over first.
Thank God there wasn't another crevasse to take the pack.
Yeah. And so we threw our pack across, and
We jumped.
Wesley was like, you got to start. And then you went, you like stopped. And then you went back. You were not having it for
I
a
wasn't
minute
having
there.
that at first.
It scared you.
But then I got over it.
But then you got over it. You finally did it. And then I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'm not even going to look down. I'm not going to think. I'm just going to jump.
It's intimidating to look down and see 100 plus foot drop.
It's terrifying.
You don't know how deep it is, and you don't want to get wedged in between two slabs of ice.
Yeah. It was a little scary.
It's one of the scarier moments in my life.
Yeah. It was very intimidating. So, but we got across.
We jumped.
And then we got to the other side of the baby crevasse field very quickly.
Yeah, and we realized how much faster we would have made it to Sherman
It literally would have cut hours out of our trek. But then we get to the glacier chute.
The same thing that we climbed up the day before.
And y'all,
The descent kicked our asses.
Went sideways. I don't even know what happened, other than I didn't realize how steep that mother was until we started going down. And we're just like inching our way slowly, like sideways. I'm just going sideways.
Yeah.
Hoping I don't slip. And Wesley self-arrested, like, I don't even know how many times.
My crampons came off twice as many times on the descent as they did the climb.
They did.
And at least on 2 occasions, I slipped, had to self-arrest, and I probably dropped 100 feet.
Easily, yeah.
One time, and I would say 150 feet the second time. And I wasn't able to self-arrest the second time.
Well, no, you stopped and said you were going to slide down.
That's right. I said I was going to slide down.
You didn't just accidentally slide.
First time I slipped. Second time I said I was going to slide down.
And I was being very careful. He yells up at me and he's like, hey, I think I'm going to glissade this part. And y'all, we caught it all on a GoPro, which is hilarious.
Well, I actually have the video on Patreon. I don't know how long we're going to use Patreon, but for now, I'll put it on there.
Yeah, maybe when we get our website, we'll put it on there too.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, I'm going to slide down, is what you hear in the video. And I go, you can hear me in the back going,
what?
You're going to slide down? And he goes, yes. And I go, okay.
And I start to go. And as I start, I lose control. And you see equipment popping off of me.
Everything's flying everywhere.
Water bottles. I think I lost a shoe. Not my boots, but like
your ultras.
My ultras.
Because we had used those also, you guys, just for climbing the not snow parts.
Yes,
and so we had 2 different sets of shoes for this trek.
And so the only thing that stopped me at the bottom was a cluster of rocks.
I was terrified.
And I caught them with my feet.
Like, I thought he was going to die in that moment. I saw him just very quickly going down, and then I hear boom, and I hear him run into the rock, and I am like 100 feet behind you. And I'm like, oh my God, is he alive? I don't even think
people know that this happened. We haven't really told many people.
No. And so I start yelling down for him, and I'm like, Wesley! And he doesn't respond either, and he's not moving. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's passed out or something.
I had recorded on the video. I was like, that was so dumb of me.
Your hand was like shaking.
I turned around and I've got gear scattered down the slope.
And he's like, can you help me? And I was like, I'll get your gear. And so I follow behind and just start picking up his gear. And just to give you an idea of all of this, of how steep it is, if you even lean over, you could easily topple over and somersault down. Like, this is how intense the grade is. And so I'm like slowly trying to pick up gear.
At one point you just start kicking it down the hill.
Pretty much, yes. And then was it after that?
It was after that event that the rock slide happened.
So then after all this happens, we decide to stay together, and Wesley's not going to glissade anymore.
No more dumb acts of whatever.
Yeah. And so we're at this like corner. We also got lost on, I don't know how we got lost on the chute, but we got lost on the benign glacier, and we end up getting to the far side of the glacier somehow. And apparently people were watching us at the bottom and were like, oh my God, where are they going? Because we weren't going down. We were going zigzag over to the other side. But it's because we couldn't figure out how to get down. And we were scared that there was a crevasse and we weren't going the same way we went up. And so it was like, shit, we might hit a crevasse on this side. But we go to the other side and we're trying to get down from that side. And next thing we hear is a guy over in the rocks yelling.
Like probably 200 to 300 feet above us.
And he's a rock climber.
And he says, look out.
And next thing we know, we start seeing these rocks coming at us, and they're coming fast, and they start getting bigger and faster, and now they're boulders. Like, there are these huge rocks coming at us.
Yeah, 1 to 2 feet in diameter. They're pretty big.
And they were big, and we're seeing them, and I'm like, what do we do in this? And they're coming truly right for us. And Wesley's like, don't move. And I'm like, I freeze, and none of them hit us, which is a miracle in itself.
I think you were praying. Jesus,
I was.
It's in your protective bubble.
Well, then after it's all over, you can hear in the video me going, Jesus, help us. It's like I froze, and then after it all vanished, I said, Jesus, help us.
A little delayed.
It was a little delayed there.
Yeah.
But then we finally find, I remember you could see a crevasse down there. Mm-hmm. But so we decide to go left. We hooked around it. And we find there's this one spot at the very end where you can glissade the rest down. And it's a safe glissade.
Thank God.
And man, oh man, when we got to that, I started crying. I was like, oh, we're alive. We're alive.
Yes. Thank God.
And we ran into some people down there and they were like, dude, we saw you guys coming down. We're like, where are they going?
But we're glad we didn't see you get hit by the rock slide. Glad we could entertain someone.
Yeah. So we got down.
We got down engaged.
And we got into soil. We touched soil.
Thank God.
And we climbed, or we hiked the rest down.
Touching soil was such a huge relief.
I remember kissing the ground, I think.
Did you?
I think I did. I don't know, but I remember feeling elated.
Gosh. So Mount Rainier is no joke, folks.
It is no joke.
Maybe the mirror route is a lot easier, but the way we took was not.
Moral of the story. What were your takeaways?
I think my takeaways were just not to think that you are above your skill level and you're not above the advice of people who are more experienced and seasoned than you are. Because, I mean, I was a strapping 32-year-old lad and nothing could stop me. And I was going to be able to mountaineer that darn mountain. And I didn't want to listen to anyone else's advice. And yeah, I was extremely glad that we both decided to call it quits and to know when our limits had been reached. I think that was a huge part of it for me, a huge learning experience. And I wish that we had listened to other people more and done more research before going out there. You know, maybe we would have done the Wonderland Trail or something instead.
We couldn't do the Wonderland Trail. We couldn't get a permit for it. You tried that.
We could have just done it.
Yeah, you're right.
What about you?
I think recognizing that, listening to our intuition.
That gut check is powerful, folks.
To not keep going and to listen to that and to turn around. I think safety, realizing how important turning around is and that it's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that you've lost. Yeah. It just means it's not the right time.
We were listening to a podcast recently about, it's called Against the Odds, and it recounts these tales of
very intense things.
Yeah, disastrous events, but intense human
willpower.
Survive. Yeah. And this was about K2, which is the second highest peak in the world.
Yeah, they call it the Savage Mountain.
The Savage Mountain.
It's one of the hardest mountains to climb, and 1 in 4 people die on the mountain. Like, that's how many lives it takes.
And there was a pretty nasty event that happened, but after they told the story of this event, they did an interview
with one of the climbers.
Yeah, with one of the climbers who was out there. And he said that he considers professional climbers, and this can translate to other recreations as well, but professional as someone who knows when to stop, who knows when to say no more, live to fight another day. And he does not consider the daredevil professionals because those people tend to not live long.
Yeah.
They're the ones who get the summit fever, or the ones who push beyond what they know is beyond
their limits or their intuition and just keep going.
Or beyond the realm of just genuine safety.
Yeah. Because they think they're invincible and the mountain won't take them.
And we were guilty of that on the PCT. There were things we probably should not have done that we ended up doing.
I disagree. I think that we did it in safety, though.
I felt like Forester Pass was pretty unsafe to be doing.
I never felt unsafe. My intuition never went off on Forester. It was Glen Pass that I was like... The ice
chute on Forester?
Yeah, I didn't feel it there.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't feel like it was a place in which we couldn't get through.
When we crossed it without spikes and we just had ultras on?
Yeah, because it wasn't big. Like it didn't feel like something that felt like, oh, we could jump it. Like That's it fair. Just wasn't that intense to me.
But Glen Pass was scary.
Glen Pass was scarier. Glen Pass was like holding my breath and hoping we didn't trigger an avalanche or, it was very much different. But I felt like we were safe enough to do it because we have the proper equipment and we knew how to do that type of snowshoeing or that type of level of creating a boot pack and creating the zigzag and the switchbacks. Like,
what about climbing at Muir Pass with all that?
I felt fine.
Even though
that actually felt like mountaineering to me.
Even though you punched through into an air gap in the boulders.
Oh, you're talking about Muir?
I just said Muir Pass.
Yes, but that I think that we did it at the safest time of day.
Okay.
At midnight.
We did.
Because if we hadn't done it, if we had done it during the day, we would have been in a horrible situation. I think going through the ice happened, but I think that is something where my intuition never went off and said, this is unsafe, climb it. Like, this is unsafe terrain.
Yeah.
There was never once that kind of feeling. Whereas, for example, in the K2 story, they knew that it was an unsafe moment because they got bottlenecked and they got stuck in the death zone. And a lot of them turned around because they realized we're not going to make it in time before the sun goes down. And then others kept pushing, even though they knew they shouldn't, and they got stuck out there at night in the death zone. So I think there's a difference in we made calculated decisions on the PCT because of Rainier, where we said, hey, what is the safest option to be in the Sierra Nevadas in winter and do it the safest way?
Yeah.
And we said, let's take our ice axes. Let's take hiking crampons. Let's make sure we don't get hypothermia. Let's make sure we go with people. Those are all the things we did.
And then fast forward to our last attempt of the Colorado Trail. We decided to stop for that very same reason, safety.
In the San Juans, yeah. It had already gotten 4 feet of snow, and they were about to get another big dump of snow. We still had 100 miles to go in the San Juans, and the avalanche risk in the San Juans is very high. I mean, the amount of avalanches that happen in the San Juans is a lot. And I was researching that as we went in.
Which we haven't told the story yet, but
no, but my tickers were going off then. My intuition was going off then.
Your tickers. My
tickers didn't go off in the Sierras the same way. Okay. There were moments where I had panic. Like my ticker went off when we were doing Bishop Pass. That's when my ticker went off, and I started panicking because I didn't know how we were going to get down. But you saw something different in Bishop, and you saw that we could safely get down.
I did.
So I listened and followed that. But if your ticker had also been going off, that's a different scenario. So I think when it came to the Colorado Trail, my ticker was going off because the avalanche risk, and Leve didn't know avalanches. Leve could have triggered an avalanche easily.
She could have.
And I mean, was your ticker going off in the Colorado Trail?
A little bit. Whenever we had gotten to the top of that first ridge on the very steep climb, and all you can see is snow-covered traverse winding around the saddle, ticker was going off a little bit. But I'm like, we either go back 15 miles and hope that somebody is able to pick us up at this trailhead, or we get the heck out of here and call it at Lake City.
But your ticker did go off to call it. That's what I mean. Like there was something in you that was like,
yeah, this is probably not safe.
It's probably not the safest.
And then whenever I saw Leve slipping down some of the chutes, I was like, probably not.
No, that was terrifying to watch Leve just sliding. She's starting to slide down these ice chutes, and I would grab her bag, or Wesley would grab her bag. Yeah. And we would just kind of take her with us as she'd fight us because she didn't want to be stuck to us.
We need to tell the story soon of the Colorado Trail. Big takeaway from the Rainier. One thing you would do different.
Honestly, I think 2 things I would do different.
You get 1.
No.
Okay, 2.
I want 2.
Fine.
I would have taken a crevasse training class beforehand so we could learn how to tie knots. And I would have wanted us to hire a guide. That would have been my takeaways.
That's what I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
Because then we would have finished, I think.
We would have been more experienced mountaineers with that.
And we would have had someone that I would have felt way more confident going in with someone that already knew the route.
Because guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one bit of advice you'd give to our listeners.
Don't let fear stop you from doing wild things like this. Take each step and go out there and do it. But once you feel your intuition, not your fear, there is a difference between fear talking and your intuition talking.
Yeah.
And that is, and I know people are going to be like, what does that mean? I think intuition is when every single part of your body starts going off and goes, something is wrong. Check. Like something's off. This is unsafe. And I should probably turn around. If you've got that, that's your gut check. And I think fear talking is like, oh, this could be a bad idea. Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing and this is really scary and there could be bears and there could be mountain lions and there could be this and there could be that. And what if it kills me? Those what ifs, that's fear talking. There is a difference between that talking and then your whole body saying, whoa, something's wrong. And so my big advice takeaway would be, don't let this stuff stop you. Like go into it. I mean, or if your gut is telling you don't go on that trip, don't go on the trip.
There you go.
Like it's okay if you say no to a trip because something inside of you is feeling uneasy or restless. Mm-hmm. It is okay. Like great example. The grizzly man that died with the grizzlies and his girlfriend, she had a horrible feeling and was not going to go back with him. But she decided to go back one more time because he talked her into it.
That was it.
And she died. So there are these moments where if your gut is saying, don't go on that trip, don't go on the trip. That's fine. Go to live on another day. But if your brain is like, but what if a bear gets me? That's different than like checking in with yourself and saying, do I have a gut check or is this just fear talking? So still go out in nature, still go do wild things. Just listen to yourself, listen to your gut when you're out there or before you get there.
And always pick up at least one piece of trash that you didn't drop.
What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is just do enough research in advance and don't try and jump the gun on something just because you think you're an invincible badass. Like what we did. Had we done enough research, we may have reconsidered our trip and maybe we would have done a cute little backpacking trip around the Mount Baker Wilderness or something like that, which is a super beautiful area. But luckily, we had this epic adventure on Mount Rainier to live and tell the tale about. That may not be the case with other people. So just be safe, be cautious, do your research, and plan ahead before venturing out into the wilderness. That's my takeaway.
That's good. I like it.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I think that concludes our time. I do want to make an announcement that with this, we would love to tell more stories like this of other people that have gone and done wild things, whether they survived or didn't survive, and talk about the safeties involved. Talk about, did they take an ice axe or crampons with them? Like, what are the things that could have been avoided? So that, because we want everybody to keep exploring and keep adventuring and keep doing all these things. We don't want you to stop because you hear of someone dying because they slid down an ice chute. The question is, did they take the proper gear with them?
Exactly.
So we want to tell more stories like that too, so that we can just educate people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to hear stories like that from you too.
Yeah. So if you have one,
send it to us
at
yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com.
Yeah.
The next 2 episodes of our podcast will cover Basecamp's trek on the Collegiate Loop, which is 100 and how many miles? 160 mile loop around the Collegiate Peaks here in Colorado. She did that last year, summer of 2025. So she's going to be recounting that. It'll be a 2-part episode. So stay tuned the next month for that. And in the meantime, feel free to shoot us an email with any questions or concerns you might have, or again, let us know some harrowing stories you may have or some really interesting topics you would like us to research to talk about.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be through hiking.
Exactly, because we're stepping a little bit away from being through hiking exclusive and kind of focusing on just being outside.
Yeah.
We just want to talk about hiking and backpacking and everything that revolves around that, regardless of the duration of how long you're backpacking.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family if you like our podcast, and get the word out.
Yeah.
And also thank you so much to our editor for editing this podcast. It'll either be Brooke, Bryn, AJ, or Steven. If you were one of them,
Or Charlotte. Yeah.
If you were one of them, take out all those names and put yours in the place.
Exactly. Thank you so much to The Fire Once Lost for our intro and our outro music. We love the vibe of your songs, and especially Appalachian Trail, which is the one we've chosen to use for our podcast. So you've been going strong with us for the last 2+ years,
Woo-hoo.
and we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And never forget, it doesn't matter what trail you're out there hiking. At the end of the day, we're all just walking.
And if we see you out there, we hope we all say to each other,
Happy trails.
trails.